Hello friends, it's Chrissy, and I have a cold.
Baby's first level off.
Gabe's in the other room playing video games. I just wanted to pop on because I am casting on the Melt the Ice hat. So I'm adding one more cast on to January for the 12 cast-ons cast along. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna have this one done pretty quickly because, you know, sometimes you gotta knit the revolution. I'll check in with you probably tomorrow for my Imbolc cast on. Hello everybody and happy Imbolc. I'm sick, so this is gonna be a very short vlog. If anything, I'll just show you some progress on things. But I'm about to cast on my sweater, the Poisoned Apple Top. This is Spring Awakens by Amplifiber, and it's a DK weight. And we've got, this is Tulip by Blue Thistle Fibers, Orange Tulip. And it is, I'm just really excited to cast this on and have a quiet day. Well, it's been a really long time since I needed to buy needles. I actually have to buy a size 6 needle. I don't know where all of them have gone. I have a ton of the smaller cable lengths. I guess I just haven't, I don't know where my longer cable needles are for size 6. All right, well, guess I'll be ordering something. But in the interim, I should be able to cast on with what I have. Hi friends, it's Chrissy. Welcome back to Knitting in the Heights. It is February 10th, and sorry I haven't checked in sooner. I had every intention of checking in with you guys, specifically around the time that we had our February 1st Imbolc. I proceeded to get really sick with a head cold. I'm still kind of getting over it, actually. I'm feeling significantly better now. I'm not coughing my brains out. New York City has also been extraordinarily cold. And yeah, so it's been kind of a challenging week or so, just for health reasons. Gabriel is actually home with me today. I am working from home today because he got it finally after fighting it off for a week. So he's also coughing and not feeling 100%. But anyway, since I am at a point where I can take a little bit of a break, I thought I'd kind of catch up with you guys and show you my knitting. So this year, I am challenging myself to cast on projects, basically following the Wheel of the Year, the Witch's Wheel of the Year. And so I cast on a project, actually on Imbolc, which is the first holiday. It's kind of the idea of the holiday is that Bridget, who is a goddess of summer, she is making her way out of like prison. And so it's like we are leaving winter, starting to think of warmer months ahead. And so I did cast something on for that. And I cast something on actually on Imbolc Eve on January 31st as kind of a cheeky, unexpected cast on. But with the state of the world, I decided it was time to do that. So let's start by just looking at some of my works in progress and my cast-ons. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually show you what I cast on Imbolc Eve. And I made a Melt the Ice hat. So here it is. I showed it to Gabriel. I explained the purpose of it, and he promptly put it on his head. He says it's itchy. I don't think it's itchy. I made this from Very Deep Stash. This is, I think it's a Malabrigo in DK, Malabrigo DK. I'll put it on the screen if it's not Malabrigo, if it's Madeline Tosh. Again, I can never remember which is which. But anyway, the colorway is Scarlet, and it's really beautiful red. And it was fun. The only thing I would do different if I knit this again is I would love for it to have a folded brim, especially with how cold New York City has been the last couple of weeks, we've been below freezing. I think today may be the first day we get temperatures above freezing. There's been a lot of jokes about it being snowmageddon, and like the sidewalks are still full of really dirty, yucky, icy snow, which is gross. Piled up on the sides, and like the trash being put out on top of these ice monuments. It's gross in New York right now. I cannot wait till it warms up and all this stuff melts and all of the dirt and grime goes away with it. But anyway, what I would do is actually knit it longer. It called for 6 inches, I think, of ribbing. I would have done more. I had plenty of yarn left over. In fact, I think I have enough yarn from the skein I used for this one and a partial skein. I could totally knit another hat if I want to. But for right now, this is what I have. So it's my Melt the Ice hat. It's warm. It's comfy. Yeah, it's cute. And I'm glad that I'm supporting freedom of speech in America for it. So anyway, that was what I cast on Imbolc Eve on January 31st. And it's already done. So that's my first finished object for this episode. Let me show you what I cast on for Imbolc. Imbolc was February 1st. And let me just pull it over real quick. Sorry for the reaching. All my project bags, for the most part, are over here. So I'm just going to show you the things that I worked on, not everything that I have. So I have started the Poison Apple top, which is super cute. So I have basically one back portion done. I'm knitting this in 2 really cool yarns. The first is a DK weight by Amplifiber. There you go, you see. In the color Spring Awakening. I'm really loving this color, you guys. It's so pretty. So the construction is that you knit the backs first. And then you will pick up, or at some point, I'm not going to go too much into the pattern, with some mohair or some sort of floofy lace weight fiber. This colorway is orange tulip or something like that. My cats were naughty while I was sick. And I had it all beautifully caked up. It was sitting in here, and somehow they got it in this bag. And my mohair ended up under the bed in multiple little balls. So basically they just were pulling it apart, and like they'd pull a section off. So I've had to actually cut into the skein, which ain't great. But I think this is actually plenty for what I need. I don't even know that I'll need all of this. So I'm going to use, because I don't think you have to use that much. It only uses a very small partial skein because it's just this little bit of netting up here. So I will use that. If not, I have plenty more in the closet. I'll just weave it in. It's not a big deal. So that is coming. And so I'm on the second back right now. And this is the one I'm currently working on, I believe. No, this is the one that's done. And that's the other one is the one I'm currently working on. So I'm getting close, actually. So you can see it's actually close. So you knit these 2. So I have, I don't know, like 6 or maybe, 6 more rows before I go to the next section. So that is kind of sitting, waiting on hold. So that's cool. So when I got sick, my brain power went away because I was planning, this whole thing of like, I pop between projects to get the most out of my knitting, right? And I did some of that. I did do some of that. So there are these 3 projects that I'm knitting simultaneously that I have talked about, right? So I have my Advent cast on, which is the Quest shawl. So that's the first. And this is all using my Advent calendar, the 10-gram Advent calendar I have. And so I'm like putting a little bit into each project as we go. So let me show you this. Let me just make sure I have all the things lined up here. Yeah, I do. Okay. So the Quest shawl is in my fairies bag because it is the Flower Fairies Advent calendar. And so here's where we're at now. And so I've put in I finished an entire color. This is where I was the last time I showed you guys. And so I finished the brioche, that section, the brioche section, and I've gone on to the next day. So yes, it is coming. It's a scarf. It's the scarf version because that's what I have enough yarn for. Am I liking it? I mean, yeah, it's a fun knit. I feel like at this stage, to be honest, it's more of the process than the product that I'm enjoying, because I feel like the variegatedness of this particular yarn base, although it is absolutely beautiful, I don't think it is a really good match for the pattern. I think this pattern would do better with more semi-solids or solids, because it's just, there's just so much going on between the lace pattern and the brioche and the color. Like, I mean, it's cool and all, and it's going to be very bright. And will I wear it? Yeah, probably. Yeah, sure, I'll wear it because I need another bright something or other for the winter, because why not? But it just doesn't feel like a great match. So anyway, so I put this down when I started getting sick because I was like, there's no way my brain is going to function through this one, especially with lace. And I was coughing a lot. There were times I was just sitting there and like just literally sitting and watching stuff and not doing anything. So once I finish with that, the leftover yarn goes into the next project, which is the 24-day Advent socks. Same place. Just making sure they're up to date. They are. So basically I was able to put in one more color stripe. So the plan is with these is that I have 9 stripes I need to do because I need 16 stripes for my foot, for the length of foot I typically knit. I realized while I was doing this, I messed up the pattern a wee tiny bit, I think. And that is okay. I don't think you're really going to notice that much. It's like where the slip stitch is. It shouldn't line up, basically. And right now it's lining up in most cases. So anyway, oh well, it's fine. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it rolling. Anyway, you're not going to really notice it. But it is looking great. Yeah, so I just added a single stripe on each of these 2 socks. And so there, yeah, so I have 9 to do. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 colors done. So I have 3 more before I go to the foot. I'm looking forward to the point. I mean, I really like putting the stripes in here. Don't get me wrong. That I really enjoy. I'm looking forward to the point where I can just knit the heels on these guys, because that'll be some substantial knitting. To do those stripes on, even with both socks, it's like less than a half an hour. It takes no time to get through that. The third project that uses this yarn and finishes up the yarn, I've used not just for this, but I've also used for, like I've been using other scraps as they've been kind of coming along. So it is the sea glass tea. Like the other day, I had the tiniest nubbin of chocolate amargo left over from a project. I'll show you the end. I have another finished object I'll show you in a second. So yeah, so this is coming along and I'm simply adding more. And I think where the squirrel is, maybe where I last showed you. So yeah, it's coming along. I'm just adding yarn to it. Anything that's fingering weight is fair game to go into this. And it's just a 1x1 color work with a certain number of increases. And yeah, we're just going along on it. This is a really great way to gobble up the leftover yarn. What's cool is like, all I have is this little nugget left of that day. And so once I get through another day, I'll knit that and then move it over. Like I'll just keep going back and forth. And if I have leftovers of any other yarn, like little bits of yarn, not like large bits of yarn, I will put it in there. As long as they're not sparkle, they have to be plain. All right. Then next, one thing I did work on quite a bit before Imbolc was, I've been working on my Beatles mittens. And I have a huge yarn chicken thing. I totally ran out of yarn. So I knit more than half the mitten, the first mitten, and then realized it and just stopped. And I started ripping it back. But let me show you, because I think, is it in here? No, I think I put it up in my yarn stash. And I said, all right, never mind. I will deal with this later. it was great for me to knit, gave me some ideas of like how to like manage the tension and stuff like that. And also the colors didn't have enough contrast to really show this to its best. And so I said, never mind, I'm going to change yarn and I'm changing direction. So I pulled out a stash, 2 different yarns, and they were both actually the full skeins for 2 advent calendars. And I thought they went really lovely together. So this is from my astrology advent calendar from the previous year. Gem State Yarns, I think, is the dyer on this. And this is the Cancer colorway because that is my astrological sun sign and my rising sign, actually. I have actually a ton of Cancer in my birth chart. Like my Mars. Is it my Mars sign? My Mercury sign is also Cancer. But I have more than that. It's like, I don't know, it's Cancer just keeps showing up. And then the other one is the 25th day of the Art Nouveau advent calendar that I got back in 2024, I think. So these definitely contrast enough. So let me show you. So I'm on the first mitten and I'm finishing up. I really just booked through these because it was so much more enjoyable to knit on. So here we go. There's John Lennon's face, and you can see it a lot clearer than you could on the other one. And everything's looking so much better. So much better choice for yarn. So glad I changed it. I was working on these pretty consistently, but then I got sick. And again, brain power was next to nil. So as I was going through my projects, and I was like starting to feel a little tiny bit better, enough to knit, but not enough to knit anything with like challenging. I decided to pick up my socks that I have had on the needles for a while, my Hocus Pocus socks. It's a cable pattern, but I have the cable totally memorized. And actually I ended up making slight, I had a couple of errors in it, but whatever. But they're finished. And they're, you know what? They're totally beautiful socks that I'm going to enjoy wearing. So you can see there's a really cool cable pattern in each, and it's like reverse. So there's left and right socks. There are some errors in like the counting on certain things. It's fine. They're on my feet. They're not even a gift for anybody. So the main colorway was a club colorway by Sweet Sparrow Yarns. That's Julie. And it's called Spiced Apple. It came from her foraging club a few years ago. So that's a really pretty one. I'd been hoarding that yarn for a while. I really like the color. And I have, I would say, more than 40 grams left. So I've put it aside. It will either go into, there's the Hello Gorgeous sweater that I do want to cast on later this year. I'll put it aside for that. But if there's more left over, I might make some shorty socks with another contrasting heel toe and cuff. The little bit we got going on here, this brown, is Chocolate Amargo from Malabrigo. Pretty sure it's Malabrigo. That was actually leftovers. It was less than 10 grams. I think it was like 8 grams of leftover that I had from my breathing space sweater that I made, finished in 2019. That ended up being, because I lost weight, it ended up being too big for me. And honestly, that sweater, because I'm not tall, it looked like it was like almost like a dress on me because I'm not tall at all. I'm 5'2". So I ended up giving it to a friend of mine who I believe wears it pretty often. She's much taller than me. Like she's like 5'9", 5'10", something like that. Anyway, that was the main color of that. And so, yeah, I get to wear some really beautiful yarn. This is very autumnal. It's blocked. Funny story is I had it in my backpack that I carry with me everywhere. It's like the perfect size for all my things, like for my computer and like if I'm bringing lunch and my wallet and all this stuff. And I carry it everywhere. Well, I did until I got so sick. I had to go to the pharmacy and I grabbed some like Dayquil. And I thought I put the cap on correctly and put it in my bag, inside a paper bag, because I was like, oh, there might be a little bit of drops that fall out. I don't want to get anything on my stuff. The cap was not on at all. The entire thing of Dayquil got all over everything. My knitting, my computer, everything. The bag is trashed. I had to throw the bag away. It was so bad. I had to carefully clean my computer. My computer's fine, thank God. But the one thing, the casualty was my project bags. Now, one project bag was redeemable. It was the one that I had my this hat in. And I was able to, that one, only the bag got dirty. This one, it soaked through and got on the yarn cake. It got on the socks. So I had to like wash all this Dayquil while I was sick out of everything. Like that was probably one of my sickest days. I was not a happy camper, but thankfully Dayquil's almost the exact same color as the sock. And so it didn't stain the sock. So that's good. So there's no Dayquil in it anymore. If you don't know what Dayquil is, it's like a cold medicine that you take during the day because it's got like caffeine in it. So yeah, so these are going in my sock drawer and will go into my rotation. I'm so excited because I need more socks. So that's good. The final project I have been working on, and I just recently picked it back up because I kind of wanted something somewhat mindless, but not totally mindless. I am currently working on the, what is the sweater called? Finest Kind by Alicia Plummer. It is a bottom-up sweater construction. It's meant to be kind of it doesn't have to be oversized, but it can be oversized. It is knit, it's basically in, I think it's seed stitch, in Aran weight. And instead of using Aran weight yarn, I'm using magic knot balls that I created many, many years ago, held triple. Like, so I have 2 magic knot balls I'm holding at the same time, plus a strand of mohair from Craftily dyed yarn in the, I think it's Mountain Taupe colorway. And so I have all this glorious, beautiful yarn that I've collected from various advent calendars, like leftovers or like various projects. I mean, I've got every like dyer I think I've ever used represented, from Malabrigo to Tosh to Legacy Fiber Arts. There's probably some Homespun House in these balls. There's some sparkle yarns. There's some plain yarns. There's some commercial like sock yarn that I inherited from someone. There's just everything. Like right now it's kind of skewing towards like these like purpley pinky colors, but I know I've got like neon green and like serious speckles. And so this is like totally toning down the yarns, and it's really kind of a cool thing. I mean, it is scrappy as can be, and it's going to weigh a ton because it's an oversized sweater for me. I don't know how oversized it's going to be to me. It's probably going to fit me pretty well. But I just finished the rib, so I'm in the process of switching needles right now. But yeah, I think like I'm looking at it, and that's going to fit around my body totally as a rib. And now we're getting into the seed stitch portion. So this is like great knitting for me right now. I don't have to think too hard. I can just sit here and do my thing, and I can read it because it's super easy. It's just knits and purls. The markers are set up to help me out, and it is perfect for watching TV with. I have been watching Vikings again, and that has been amazing because not only am I rewatching it, but I'm continuing. I never like got past the middle of I think season 4, and so now I'm into season 5, and I'm watching that at night or on the weekends. And the Olympics are on, and I'm about to start watching hockey like crazy because I do love hockey, and I'm gonna see what other things are on. So it's perfect, and because it's so freaking cold. And this is triple yarn, and it's fuzzy, and it's soft, and it's warm. It feels so good to have on your lap when it's cold outside. It is freezing. Today, it's like, I think today may have just gotten to like 0 degrees as far as like Celsius. I think it's like 32 degrees, 31, 32, 33 degrees, somewhere in there. But when I say it's been cold in here, like you could not warm this place up. You could not make it warm enough. It was so cold. Like, it's been so cold in New York City. To the point where it's just, like, being inside. I mean, thankfully, we're inside. But it like, hurts to be outside. So, I'm just very thankful, like, I've got something warm to knit on. And I also know I'm not going to want to knit on this when it gets warmer. So, while we have this cold snap, this is the perfect time. It's also going to be kind of, I mean, a fast-ish knit given, I mean, it's Aran weight. So it's going to, even though it's a larger project, I'm going to get a lot done on it. And it is bottom up. I'm like at the point where I have to knit like 15 inches or something to get to like the armholes. But that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So that's where we're at, everybody. My next cast on is planned for Astara, which is in the middle of March, I believe. In fact, I can't look at, let me see if I can look it up real quick. It's like, they're usually 6 weeks apart. So, that one is going to be socks, and I'm purposely like holding off doing any other socks right now. I have one pair of socks and needles. I think I have a total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 6 objects that I'm currently working on, which is actually pretty good. I do have something that's in hibernation. It's another sweater. It's color work. I want to get through some of this other stuff first before I come back to that. But like the Astara cast on is a smaller thing, and it's just color blocking. It is a pattern, but it's like a colored blocked sock using bright colors. So that one's probably going to be a faster knit. And then, so that'll give me some time once I get some of these other things off the needles. So that's what's happening. Sorry, the mohair is itching my nose. So anyhow, how are you guys doing? Like, have you guys been staying healthy? I'm sure it's like cold in most of North America, unless you're on the West Coast. I know that California has been very, very warm. But like, how are you guys doing? Has anybody else knit the Melt the Ice hat? Are you guys going to be watching the Olympics? So I'll be rooting for, I think the Canadians and also the Czech national team, because I'm a Ducks of Anaheim fan. And 2 of the players from the Ducks of Anaheim are playing on the Czech national team. So those are the teams I'm rooting for. So I hope everybody's staying well. I hope everybody's staying sane. I hope everybody's staying warm. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.